Hey, so we're going to go back to this example. How do we write good hypotheses? So, this example is a great fifth grade appropriate hypothesis. It literally begins with the word if, okay? Then the next part is what he or she is testing, the amount of cat food. Then they use the word effect. Leads me to believe, how is the amount of cat food going to determine their cat's weight? Okay? Part two, okay? Write down the word following the word if, okay? You are making a prediction. Remember, you could be right, you could be wrong, and that is okay. You are just defending your answer. Make a comment or a statement. What do you think will happen? Okay, so again, that student is testing the amount of cat food. They're telling me if I de- um, add more cat food, what will happen to the weight? Okay, example. Finish that sentence with the word then. That's why I call it the if then hypothesis method, because you're beginning with the word if, then in the middle, you're literally using the word then. So, example, then giving my cats more food should cause them to gain weight. Then you put it all together. What I have in red right here is a wonderful example of a fifth grade appropriate hypothesis. I'm not worried if your hypothesis is right or wrong. Today, you're going to practice in the scientific method writing a good fifth grade appropriate hypothesis. What does that sentence look like? Okay, so if the amount of cat food affects my cat's weight, then so they began with the word if. In the middle, they have the word then. Then giving my cats more food should cause them to gain weight. So this student is doing an experiment, okay, over a course of time, giving different amounts of food to their cat. And this student thinks that if you give the cats more food, then eventually the cat's going to gain weight. So what are they testing? Okay, they're testing the cat's weight. And what's the only thing they're changing? The amount of cat food. So, this hypothesis, if the amount of cat food affects my cat's weight, then giving my cats more food should cause them to gain weight. So, after the hypothesis, okay, you are then going to test the experiment, okay, and see if you're right or wrong. And these errors are pointing to what we call in science the independent variable. Okay, the independent variable is what you're counting, the amount of food. I'm sorry, the independent variable is what you're changing, the amount of cat food. Your dependent variable is what you're counting, which is the cat's weight. Okay, so over time, you're looking at each day how much your cat weighs. What you're changing is the amount of cat food, and that's what we call an independent variable. So you are going to be practicing either alone or with a partner writing your own hypotheses. Okay? So if you take a look up here, here's a question that can be tested. Okay? I spilled sugar on the back porch and it was soon covered with little black ants. Well, that was their observation. I wonder, would as many ants cover a pile of artificial sweetener as covered the sugar? So then you turn it into a question. So this student observed spilling sugar on the porch and then got a bunch of little black ants. Then they're turning it into a question that they can test. Would as many ants cover a pile of artificial sweetener versus sugar? So the student wants to know, are you going to get more ants with artificial sweetener? Are you going to get more ants with sugar spilling? So then they're going to set up an experiment, but before doing that, they are going to write a hypothesis. So I want you to practice writing a hypothesis for this observation.